You're lying to yourself right now, and you don't even know it. That thing you're working toward, that person you're trying to impress, none of it is real. It's all a shield you're holding up against the one thing you refuse to look at. What I'm about to share with you will fundamentally change how you see everything. Your career, your relationships, your ambitions, your fears. Because once you understand what Otto Rank discovered, you can't unsee it. And here's the beautiful, terrible truth. Understanding your death denial might be the only way to actually start living. Stay with me. This gets dark before it gets light. Let's start with the foundation of Rank's theory. Every human being knows they're going to die. This isn't news, right? We all know it intellectually. But here's what Rank understood that most people miss. Knowing you're going to die and actually accepting it are two completely different things. Imagine really accepting your death. Not just acknowledging it, but feeling it. Knowing that one day, maybe today, maybe in 50 years, you will simply cease to exist. Everything you've built will crumble. Every relationship will end. Your name will be forgotten. All your achievements, your memories, your personality, your consciousness, gone. Erased. As if you never existed at all. Feel that terror? That sick, hollow feeling in your stomach? That's the real knowledge of death. And according to Rank, your entire life is structured around never feeling that feeling. He called it the terror of death. Not the fear of dying, that's different. The terror of death is the fear of non-being, of meaninglessness, of your complete and total erasure from existence. And this terror is so overwhelming, so psychologically unbearable, that your mind does something remarkable. It creates elaborate systems to help you forget you're going to die. These systems, they're your entire life. Rank identified what he called immortality projects. The things we build, pursue, and obsess over to create a sense of permanence in an impermanent world. Let me show you how this works in your actual life. Right now, think about what matters most to you. Is it your career? Why do you want that promotion, that recognition, that success? Sure, money helps. Status feels good. But why does status feel good? Because it makes you feel significant, like you matter, like you'll be remembered, like some part of you will outlive your death. Or maybe it's your children. You want to be a good parent, to raise kids who'll thrive. That's noble, right? But Rank would ask, why do people say things like, having kids gives my life meaning, or my children are my legacy? Because unconsciously, your children are your bid for immortality. Your genes continue, your values get passed down, your name gets carried forward. Some part of you transcends your death. What about creative work? The novel you want to write, the business you want to build, the art you want to make. These feel pure, meaningful, authentic. And they are. But they're also monuments. Tombstones you're building while you're still alive. Do you see it now? Your reputation at work, your social media presence, your bank account, your body, your home, your achievements, your ideology, your identity itself. None of it is really about what you claim it's about. It's all a fortress you're building against the void. Every brick you lay is another barrier between you and the terrifying knowledge that none of this matters because you're going to die anyway. And the worst part? It doesn't work. It gets really uncomfortable because these immortality projects, these elaborate systems of death denial, they don't just fail to protect you from death. They prevent you from actually living. Think about it. If your entire life is organized around creating permanent significance, then everything becomes about outcomes, legacy, impact, permanence. You can't just enjoy a meal. You have to photograph it, share it, turn it into content that might outlive you. You can't just have a conversation. You have to win it, to be right, to be remembered as intelligent. You can't just create something. It has to be good enough to last, to matter, to make you immortal. Every moment becomes instrumental. Nothing is valuable in itself. Everything is only valuable for what it builds toward. That permanent monument you're trying to construct. And here's what Rank observed. The more desperate you are for permanence, the less present you are. The more you try to live forever, the less you actually live right now. Have you ever been so worried about how something will look, how it'll be remembered, what it means for your legacy, that you completely miss the actual experience? That vacation you spent documenting instead of enjoying. That achievement you immediately dismissed because it wasn't enough. That relationship you analyzed to death instead of just being in. That's death denial in action. You're so busy trying not to die that you forget to live. But it gets even worse. Rank noticed something else about immortality projects. They often require victims. Think about nationalism. Why do people kill and die for flags, for borders, for abstract concepts of nations? Because the nation is an immortality project. It existed before you, it'll exist after you. And by serving it, sacrificing for it, you become part of something eternal. The same psychology applies to religions, ideologies, corporations, social movements. People don't just believe in these things, they fuse their identity with them because it offers transcendence over death. And here's the violence. If my immortality project contradicts yours, then you're not just wrong, you're threatening my defense against death itself. This is why people can't just disagree about politics anymore. Why religious conflicts turn genocidal. Why corporate loyalty becomes cultish. Why social media arguments feel life or death. They are life or death, psychologically. When someone challenges your immortality project, they're symbolically killing you. So you fight back with the desperation of someone fighting for their life. This is why your father can't admit he was wrong. Why your ex needs you to be the villain. Why that colleague takes credit for your work. They're not just protecting their ego, they're protecting their symbolic immortality. And you do it too. We all do. Because we're all terrified. So what's the answer? How do you live in a world where everything you do is unconscious death denial? Rank's answer is both simple and impossibly difficult. You have to consciously accept your death. Not philosophically, not intellectually, but actually accept it. Feel it. Sit with it. Let it change you. Because here's the strange thing Rank discovered. When you genuinely accept that you're going to die, you suddenly become free to actually live. Think about what happens when you stop trying to be remembered. You can just be. When you stop trying to build permanence, you can enjoy the temporary. When you stop trying to matter forever, you can let yourself matter right now. This means doing things that won't last. Creating art no one will see. Having conversations that won't be recorded. Experiencing moments you won't document. Loving people who will die. Being someone who will be forgotten. It means accepting that your life is not a monument. It's not a legacy. It's not a project with measurable impact. It's just this breath, this moment, this brief flicker of consciousness in an infinite void. And yes, this is terrifying. Rank never said it wasn't. Facing death is the hardest thing a human being can do. But he also believed it's the most important thing. Because until you face it, you're not living your life. You're serving your death denial. So what does this actually look like in practice? How do you live when you've accepted that everything you do is ultimately meaningless because you're going to die? Rank would say, you live more fully, precisely because it's meaningless. You love more deeply, because that love won't last. You create more authentically, because it doesn't have to achieve immortality. You connect more honestly, because there's nothing permanent to protect. This might mean quitting the job you hate that you only do for legacy. Forgiving people not because it makes you noble, but because holding grudges wastes your limited time. Trying things you'll fail at, because failure doesn't threaten your immortality project anymore. Letting go of grudges, ideologies, and identities that you've been clutching like life rafts. It means having the courage to be ordinary, to not be special, to not be remembered, to simply be alive for this brief moment, and then gone. And in that acceptance, in that surrender to your absolute insignificance, you might discover something Rank called the creative life. Not creative in the artistic sense necessarily, but creative in the sense of being genuinely present, genuinely alive, genuinely yourself, freed from the exhausting work of building monuments that won't save you anyway. So yes, everything you do is about avoiding death. Otto Rank was right. Your career, your relationships, your ambitions, your fears. All of it is death denial dressed up as living. But now you know. And knowing is the first step toward choosing differently. The question isn't whether you'll die. You will. Everyone watching this will be dead within 100 years. Probably sooner. The question is, will you spend your remaining time building fortresses against that truth? Or will you have the courage to stop denying, stop defending, and start actually living? Because the ultimate irony, the beautiful, terrible joke at the heart of Rank's psychology, is that the only way to truly live is to make peace with death. Not tomorrow, not someday. Right now, your death is coming. What will you do with the life you have left? If this video opened your eyes to something you've been avoiding, hit that subscribe button, because understanding death might be the key to finally living.